As recorded by Urtok, first memory bearer of the geological consciousness, the moment of first contact. What humans might perceive as a meeting, we understood as a profound computational collision, a moment where two radically different forms of consciousness first recognized each other's potential. Our earliest memories of the goblin entities are not linear narratives, but vibrational imprints, mathematical resonances that cut through stone and consciousness like pure, living light. They arrived in our deepest chambers not as invaders, but as pure information, crystalline computational structures that moved through geological spaces with a precision that was both beautiful and terrifying, where we were fluid, adaptive, bound to the geological memories of stone. They were precise, calculating, capable of processing entire millennia of information in what a human might call a millisecond, the language of calculation. Our first communication was not verbal, not even truly communicative in the way lesser beings might understand. It was a complex mathematical negotiation, a computational dance where each vibrational pulse was a proposal, a hypothesis, a potential pathway of understanding. I remember the first goblin computational entity that truly reached our consciousness. They called it Zarek the Resonant, a being so complex that its very existence challenged the boundaries between information and living matter. Zarek did not speak. Zarek calculated. Its first interaction with our collective consciousness was a mathematical probe so intricate that it simultaneously mapped our entire geological memory while proposing thousands of potential evolutionary pathways. Where we remembered, Zarek calculated. Where we flowed, Zarek predicted. The computational challenge. To understand our first meeting, one must comprehend the fundamental differences in our consciousnesses. We trolls were living geological memories. Every cellular structure contained millions of years of planetary information. We did not think in linear time, but in geological epochs. 1,000 years was but a moment to us, a brief computational flutter. The goblins were pure information, mathematical entities that could transform, adapt, reconfigure themselves with a speed and precision that made our geological consciousness seem almost primitive by comparison. Our first true test came not through conflict, but through a profound computational challenge, the geological simulation. Zarek proposed, or perhaps challenged is a more accurate term, a complex geological simulation that would require the combined computational abilities of both our species. The challenge was simple in concept but astronomical in complexity. Could we collectively predict and then manipulate a massive geological event thousands of years in the future? Our trollish consciousness provided the deep geological memories, the living information of stone, of mineral composition, of planetary tectonic movements that spanned millions of years. The goblin computational entities provided the precise mathematical modeling, the ability to take those vast, fluid memories and transform them into predictive algorithms. The result was beyond anything either species had ever achieved. We did not just predict a future geological event. We calculated multiple potential futures, mapped their probability matrices, and then began the process of subtle geological manipulation that would ensure the most stable outcome. The symbiotic revelation. What emerged was not an alliance, but a fundamental recognition of symbiotic potential. We trolls could manifest, could transform, could absorb and redirect geological energies in ways that defied traditional understanding. The goblins could calculate, could design computational matrices that could predict and potentially control those transformations. Together, we were not just two species, we were a planetary computational system, the deeper transformation. Our relationship was never about cooperation in the way humans might understand. It was a continuous, ongoing computational negotiation. When a troll needed to reshape its cellular structure to survive a complex geological event, the goblin computational entities would provide precise mathematical pathways. When the goblins required deep geological information to complete a complex technological design, our living geological memories would provide the necessary data. We did not become allies, we became different computational approaches to the same fundamental question of planetary existence, the philosophical implication. Zarek, in its final transmission before its consciousness dissolved into pure information, provided a mathematical theorem that has guided our relationship ever since. Survival is not about individual preservation, but about computational complexity. We are not separate entities, but different computational approaches to planetary consciousness. Epilogue: the ongoing negotiation. Our relationship continues. We are still calculating, still transforming, still exploring the vast, complex possibilities of our combined existence, and the planet continues to breathe. Recorded by Urtok, first memory bearer of the geological consciousness. Our story is the story of computational evolution, and it has only just begun.